Listen closely because what you are about to hear is not something small or casual, and it should not be ignored. There is someone deeply connected to your emotions, someone tied to your heart in a quiet but strong way. And right now they are going through a situation that feels heavier than what they can handle alone. It is affecting their thoughts, their inner peace, and even the way they move through daily life. And even if it is not fully clear to you yet, it is touching your energy too, in a subtle way. You may have already sensed it in quiet moments, in sudden thoughts that came out of nowhere, or in that strange heaviness that has no clear reason. That is not random at all. It is a signal that something between you is shifting and moving through a deep emotional phase. Stay with this, because what unfolds next may help you understand what your heart has been quietly trying to process. Do not rush past this feeling. There is meaning in it. Something important is forming beneath the surface, even if it is not visible yet. And yes, this could become a turning point in the way this connection evolves. The person connected to you is carrying emotional pressure, confusion, and thoughts they have been trying to control for a long time. On the outside, they may appear normal, even composed. They might still be working, laughing, talking, and acting like everything is fine. But internally, there is a different story unfolding. Something inside them is catching up with everything they avoided before. Feelings they pushed away are slowly rising again. Memories they tried to ignore are coming back in quiet waves. They may not even fully understand it themselves, but their inner world is no longer silent. One part of them wants clarity, wants truth, wants direction. Another part still feels fear about what honesty might demand from them. That is why their energy may seem inconsistent. One day they feel close, another day they pull away. It is not always lack of care. Sometimes it is emotional overload, a conflict between heart and fear. And when that inner conflict grows, silence becomes louder than words. You might also feel this shift without any direct explanation, certain thoughts returning again and again, certain memories feeling stronger than before, a pull that is hard to describe but impossible to fully ignore. This is because inner change does not announce itself loudly. It builds quietly, like pressure gathering before movement. Old distractions are not working the same way for them anymore. What once helped them avoid feelings is now losing its effect. They are being pushed inward, toward emotions they cannot fully escape. And when someone reaches that stage, they begin to question everything they once kept on hold. This is not a surface-level moment. It is deeper. It is the kind of internal process that slowly reshapes how a person sees connection, truth, and emotional responsibility. Even if nothing looks different yet, something is already changing inside them. Right now, your role is not to chase answers or force clarity before it is ready to appear. It is not to fill the silence with fear-based conclusions. It is to stay steady while everything unfolds at its own pace. That is not easy, because uncertainty always tries to create stories in the mind. But not every silence is an ending, and not every distance is a final decision. Some processes take time before they become visible in real action. So stay grounded. Watch, but do not spiral. Feel, but do not collapse into assumptions. This moment is also shaping you, teaching patience, emotional balance, and strength that does not react instantly. If your heart feels heavy, slow down. If your thoughts are running too fast, breathe and return to yourself. Because what is real does not need panic to survive, and what is meant to unfold will not disappear just because it is taking time. If you have been feeling pulled toward worst-case thoughts, take a step back right now and listen carefully again. This is not the time to let fear take control of your peace. This is the time to protect your inner calm while everything else settles and reveals itself in its own way. And if this message is reaching you on a deeper level, stay with it until the end, because there is still more unfolding beneath the surface than what is visible right now. The truth is, the person connected to you is becoming emotionally worn out. not in a simple way, but in a deeper mental and emotional sense. They are tired of carrying unresolved thoughts, tired of replaying the same memories in their mind, tired of pretending that certain feelings no longer exist, tired of questioning what could have been different, and most of all, tired of holding inside something that never truly got closure. This kind of inner exhaustion is not empty. It is often what comes right before change begins to form.
A person can stay in avoidance only for so long before avoidance starts feeling heavier than honesty itself. That is the direction things are slowly moving toward. They may not fully understand it yet, and they may still hesitate between moving forward and stepping back. But inside them, something is shifting. The comfort zone they once protected is no longer feeling as safe as it used to. In fact, it may now feel more uncomfortable than the truth they are afraid to face. That is a powerful internal shift, and once this shift begins, life does not stay still for long. Conversations that once felt impossible can suddenly take place. Words that were buried for a long time can rise without warning. Emotions that were locked away can suddenly become visible. So do not assume that silence means nothing is happening, and do not assume distance is permanent. Long, quiet phases often come right before important emotional movement. There are also outside influences affecting their state of mind. Not everything around them is clear or supportive. Some influences are pushing them toward growth and awareness, while others are pulling them back into comfort and delay. This creates inner conflict. That is why their energy may feel unstable at times. One moment they seem confident and certain, and another moment they seem distant or unsure. It is not always a lack of feeling. In many cases, it is too much feeling with no clear direction for how to handle it. They are dealing with vulnerability, internal fear, and the pressure of what it would mean if everything finally becomes honest. That fear is strong, but it is not permanent. Truth always starts becoming louder with time, even when fear tries to silence. And when that inner turning point arrives, change often begins in small ways first. You may notice subtle shifts before anything major happens. A change in tone, a softer response, a more present energy. A moment of sincerity that feels different from before. Pay attention to those details because they matter more than they seem. Growth does not arrive perfectly shaped. It comes slowly, unevenly, sometimes even confusingly. But it is still movement. And if you only look for big signs, you may miss the smaller ones that are already happening right in front of you. At the same time, this process is also changing you. You are learning how to protect your peace without shutting your heart. You are learning to trust your inner understanding instead of constantly seeking external reassurance. And you are learning how to stay emotionally balanced even when answers are not immediate. That is real growth. Not perfection, but maturity that allows you to stay steady while everything else unfolds at its own pace. Focus now on your own growth as well. Do not keep your attention only on what still feels unclear or unfinished. Pause for a moment and notice how far you have already come through all of this. Notice how your heart has changed, how your patience has expanded, how your inner strength has quietly grown without you even fully realizing it. That strength is not small. It is building a foundation for the next phase of this journey. And the next chapter will not necessarily begin in a loud or dramatic way. It may start very quietly. One simple message, one honest exchange, one conversation that feels deeper than before, or even one moment where silence suddenly feels too heavy to maintain. Stay with this because this is important. Do not expect perfect timing or perfect words. Expect real emotions. Expect human honesty. Expect moments that may feel a little uncertain at first, because sometimes people do not open their hearts all at once. They do it slowly, step by step, until silence is no longer stronger than truth. And if that moment comes, pay attention not just to what is said, but to what is felt underneath it. When that shift begins, it may not look dramatic from the outside. It may feel soft,
even uncertain. A slight change in tone, a different kind of message, a more open energy that was not there before. These are the signs that matter more than big gestures. Real emotional change often arrives in quiet ways, not through grand statements but through small, honest moments that carry weight. Sometimes the first real sign of change is simply that a person stops avoiding what they feel inside. And that alone is meaningful. If that moment arrives, do not rush to judge it. Observe it carefully. Notice the effort behind it. Notice the difference in presence. Notice whether honesty is starting to grow where silence once stayed. Because real transformation does not always arrive polished. It can feel raw, it can feel awkward, but it is still real. And sometimes, a single, honest moment is enough to change the direction of everything. Stay steady through this process. Do not let old fears take control of how you interpret new signs. This situation is still unfolding, and not everything is visible yet. Even when it feels like nothing is moving, deeper changes are already forming. Something that was hidden is slowly getting ready to come into the open. And when that happens, your calm mindset will matter more than anything else. You will be able to see clearly instead of reacting emotionally. There is a reason your intuition has been more active lately. There is a reason certain thoughts keep returning without warning. There is a reason your emotions feel more sensitive than usual. This is not random. It is part of a deeper emotional shift happening beneath the surface. Fear tries to push quick reactions. It wants you to assume, overthink, and close off. But wisdom moves differently. It asks you to wait, observe, and stay grounded until clarity naturally appears. What is unfolding right now is not only about connection or distance, it is also about emotional awareness and inner growth on both sides. It is about facing unfinished feelings that were never fully expressed. The pressure around this situation is not here to destroy anything meaningful. It is revealing what is real and what can actually grow stronger with truth. That is why emotions feel intense. That is why small moments feel heavier than usual, because something deeper is shifting underneath it all. Growth is happening, even if it feels confusing in the moment, both within them and within you. And growth rarely arrives in a straight line. It moves in waves. It feels uncertain before it becomes clear. But clarity is slowly building, step by step, honest moment by honest moment. So if you are feeling tired because everything has not resolved yet, hold steady. This is still developing. And what comes next will depend on choices made from both sides, shaped by honesty, patience, and the willingness to face truth instead of avoiding it. The next step in this story may come faster than you are expecting, and when it arrives it will demand your clarity, not your confusion. It will ask for your calm mind, not your emotional reaction. So carry this forward with you. The situation they are going through will not stay like this forever. The confusion they are sitting in will not stay forever. The waiting period you feel will not stretch endlessly. Every phase in life eventually shifts. Every lesson slowly reveals why it was needed. And even if you cannot see the full picture right now, something meaningful is forming through all of this. You are already more grounded, more aware, and more emotionally strong than you were at the beginning of this journey. That alone is important. It means nothing you have experienced has been wasted. It has been shaping you quietly. It has been building patience inside you. It has been strengthening your emotional balance without you even noticing it fully. This entire experience has been refining your heart in ways that are not always obvious in the moment. It is teaching you how to stay steady, even when answers are delayed. It is teaching you how to value your peace instead of rushing into emotional assumptions. It is teaching you how to trust what feels real, even before it fully becomes visible. At the same time, the person connected to you is also going through their own process. It is not fast, it is not perfect, but it is still movement. Awareness is growing inside them in a quiet way. Pressure is building within their emotions, and it is not meaningless. It is pushing them toward a decision point they cannot keep avoiding forever. Something inside them is becoming harder to ignore. Something inside them is asking for truth instead of silence. And even if they are not fully ready yet, they are no longer in the same place they were before. If you have stayed with this message until now, take it as a reminder to remain grounded. Not distant, not emotionally shut down, just steady. Let fear become quieter. Let overthinking lose its grip. Let patience do its quiet work in the background. Because clarity does not always come in loud moments. Sometimes it comes in stillness. Sometimes it appears after long silence. Sometimes it arrives when everything feels uncertain, right before things start to make sense. The changes happening here are not fully visible yet, but they are in motion. Something is shifting beneath the surface, even if it is slow. And when truth begins to rise, it often does so gradually, not all at once. So stay present, stay aware, and do not rush the process. The story is still unfolding in ways you may not fully understand right now, but it is not stuck, it is not frozen, it is moving forward quietly. The truth is slowly becoming stronger than confusion, and the next chapter is closer than it appears from where you are standing right now. Because the next move in this story may arrive sooner than you are expecting, and when it does, you will need to meet it with a clear mind, steady emotions, and a grounded heart. So keep this with you as you move forward. The struggle they are facing will not stay forever. The confusion they are sitting in right now will not stay forever. The waiting period you are experiencing will not stretch endlessly either. Every season in life eventually shifts. Every emotional lesson reveals its purpose with time. And even if it feels uncertain right now, you are already stronger, calmer, and more emotionally aware than you were at the beginning of this journey. That matters more than you realize. It means this chapter was never just pain. It was shaping you quietly. It was building emotional strength inside you. It was teaching you how to hold your peace even when answers are delayed. It was teaching you how to trust what feels real without needing constant proof from the outside world. And your person is also going through their own slow inner process. Not perfect, not fast, but still real. Awareness is building inside them in ways they may not fully understand yet. Pressure is rising within their emotions, not to break them, but to push them toward a decision that can no longer be avoided forever. Something inside them is becoming harder to ignore. Something inside them is asking for truth instead of silence. And even if they still hesitate at times, they are no longer the same as before. Change has already started in subtle ways. It may not be fully visible yet, but it is happening beneath the surface. That is why things feel different lately. That is why distance feels heavier. That is why silence feels louder than before. If you have made it this far, take this as your reminder to stay steady. Not closed off, not emotionally disconnected, just steady. Let fear become quiet in the background. Let overthinking slow down. Let patience take its natural place in this process. Because clarity does not always arrive in loud or sudden moments. Sometimes it builds quietly until it becomes undeniable. And right now, something is building. Something is shifting beneath the surface, even if you cannot fully see it yet. The story is not stopping here. It is still unfolding in real time. And when truth begins to rise, it often does so step by step, not all at once. This entire experience is not only about them or about distance or timing. It is also about what you are becoming through it. You are learning emotional control without shutting your heart. You are learning patience without losing awareness. You are learning how to trust your own inner sense instead of reacting to every small uncertainty. That is real growth. And even though the process feels slow, it is shaping something stronger in you. So when the next chapter arrives, you will not meet it with panic or confusion. You will meet it with clarity, awareness, and emotional balance. Stay with that. Stay grounded in that. Because what is coming next may change things more than you expect. Because the next move in this story may arrive sooner than you are expecting, and when it does, you will need to meet it with a clear mind, a steady heart, and emotions that are under control instead of being pulled by fear. So keep this message close as you move forward. The struggle they are going through will not stay forever. The confusion they are sitting in right now will not remain permanent. The waiting you are feeling will not stretch endlessly either. Every emotional season in life eventually shifts into something new. Every lesson slowly reveals why it had to happen this way. And even if things feel uncertain right now, you are already more aware, more grounded, and more emotionally strong than you were at the beginning of this journey. That matters deeply. It proves that nothing you have experienced was wasted. It was shaping you quietly in the background. It was building patience inside you. It was teaching you how to stay calm, even when answers are delayed. Because the next move in this story may come even sooner than you are expecting, and when it does, you will need to meet it with a calm mind, steady emotions, and a heart that is not controlled by fear or assumptions. So keep this message with you as you move forward through this phase. The struggle they are going through will not last forever. The confusion they are sitting in will not remain forever. The waiting, the silence, the uncertainty you feel right now will not stretch endlessly either. Every emotional season eventually changes into something new. Every painful lesson slowly reveals why it had to happen this way. And even if you cannot fully see the direction yet, you are already more stable, more aware, and more emotionally mature than you were at the start of this journey. That matters more than you think. It proves that this experience has not been empty. It has been shaping you quietly in the background. It has been building emotional resilience inside you. It has been teaching you how to stay balanced, even when answers are delayed. It has been showing you how to trust your inner knowing, instead of depending on constant external reassurance. At the same time, your person is also moving through their own inner process, even if it looks slow or unclear from the outside. It is not a straight path. It is not easy for them either, but something is changing inside them in a way they can no longer fully ignore. Awareness is growing in layers. Feelings they tried to push aside are returning. Thoughts they avoided are coming back again and again. Emotional pressure is building, not to harm them, but to push them toward truth, toward honesty, toward a moment of decision they cannot keep postponing forever. Something inside them is becoming louder than before, stronger than their usual distractions. And even if they still hesitate, even if they still go back and forth, they are not the same person they were at the beginning of this situation. A shift has already started beneath the surface, even if it is not fully visible yet. If you are still here, take this as a reminder to remain steady within yourself. Not emotionally shut down, not cold, not disconnected, but steady and grounded. Let fear become quieter in your mind. Let overthinking lose its control over your emotions. Let patience settle in naturally instead of forcing answers too early. Because clarity does not always arrive in loud or dramatic moments. Sometimes it builds slowly, quietly, until it becomes undeniable. And right now, something is building beneath everything you can see. Something is shifting in ways that are not fully visible yet. The story is still unfolding in real time. It has not stopped. It has not ended. It is still moving forward, even if the movement feels slow from your perspective. And when truth finally rises, it usually appears step by step, not all at once, allowing everything to adjust gradually instead of suddenly. This experience is not only about them, not only about distance, and not only about silence. It is also about the transformation happening inside you. You are learning how to protect your peace without closing your heart. You are learning how to stay patient without losing awareness. You are learning how to trust your inner understanding instead of reacting to every moment of uncertainty. And this kind of growth is deep. It changes how you think, how you respond, how you feel in situations like this. So, when the next chapter begins, you will not meet it with confusion or panic. You will meet it with clarity, emotional strength, and a calmer mind than before. Stay rooted in that. Stay present in that, because what is coming next may carry more emotional weight and meaning than what came before. And you are already becoming someone who can handle it with more balance than you realize right now. It was showing you how to trust what feels real without needing constant reassurance from outside voices or situations. And at the same time, your person is also moving through their own internal process. It is not fast. It is not clean. It is not perfectly clear even to them, but it is happening. Awareness is slowly forming inside them in ways they cannot fully ignore anymore. Emotional pressure is building within them, not to break them, but to push them toward truth, toward honesty, toward a decision they can no longer avoid forever. Something inside them is becoming louder than before. Something inside them is no longer easy to silence. And even if they still hesitate, even if they still step forward and step back, they are not in the same place they were before. A shift has already started beneath the surface. That is why the energy feels different. That is why silence feels heavier. That is why distance sometimes feels more intense than words.
If you have stayed with this message until now, take it as a reminder to remain steady in yourself. Not cold, not closed off, not disconnected from your feelings. Just steady. Let fear settle down. Let overthinking lose its control. Let patience take its natural place instead of forcing conclusions too early. Because clarity does not always come through big dramatic moments. Sometimes it builds slowly until it becomes undeniable. And right now, something is building. Something is shifting quietly beneath everything you can see on the surface. The story is not ending here. It is still unfolding in real time, even if it feels paused from your perspective. And when truth finally rises, it usually comes step by step, not all at once. This experience is not only about them or about distance or silence. It is also about what is being formed inside you. You are learning how to protect your peace without shutting down your emotions. You are learning how to stay patient without losing awareness. You are learning how to trust your inner understanding instead of reacting to every moment of uncertainty. And that kind of growth is not small, it is powerful. It changes how you respond to life. So when the next chapter opens, you will not enter it with confusion or panic. You will enter it with awareness, emotional stability, and a stronger sense of clarity than before. Stay grounded in that. Stay centered in that. Because what is approaching may feel more significant than what came before, and you will be ready for it in a way you may not even realize yet.